Okay. So, all right. As much as I want to get like our feedback, I also want to see what we can do that be like suitable for everybody. Yes, this is actually the first time a number of us will be using Google Meets. What's going on? Like first time number of us will be using Google, Microsoft Teams. But I'm just considering this orientation is very important. Very, very important. So like if people miss this, I don't know how they used to keep up with the rest of it. But best way to just record is to have it recorded this way. Then they can probably watch the recording after. I've started recording it. So you should be able to check the meeting later. And check WhatsApp to see if there's any updates right there. None at all. None at all. Okay, I think I'll just start. Two people, we've not heard from two people. Don't know who are those. Is it two people or one person rather? I think that's Jordan. Okay, so guys, I'll just go ahead. I've wasted our time already. So welcome to the African AI Policy Review. Please, if at any point you cannot hear me or you cannot see my screen, please let me know. Goodness, is my mic clearer now? Can you hear me better now?
Well, I can hear you, but not clearly, but I can hear you. So I don't know. Maybe
Okay,
I don't know if
for
it's your volume or my volume. I don't know.
okay. I think maybe it's network issues, but is it the same for everybody? You can't hear me clearly. It's not very loud. Because I need our feedback. Mm, I would assume everybody can hear me. So I'll just try to speak up and put my mouth close to so that we can follow. So welcome to the African Air Policy Review. And yes, so this is the orientation session. So like I should have mentioned to a number of us in the course of the interviews. Um, I just want to drop a message on the group chat. Can someone help me put a message on the group chat that we are still on Teams, that we are not going to Google Meet? Please, I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. So, like I said, I must have mentioned to us in the course of application process that we'll be having like an orientation session. Then before we actually get into the work of the policy review. And if you remember in the video advert of the policy review, and just to keep in mind, right, we said 9 to 11, I will do my very, very best to make sure that this meeting ends even before 11. And with the way look of things, probably have to break this into two. So even probably 10:30 would be out of here. I don't take too much of our time. So I should have mentioned to us that we have like a group orientation before we get into the work. And I must have mentioned to us, like if we watch the video advert, that this is really a research project. It is not academic. It's not an academic research project, right? But it's a research project in the sense of it. There are some things that should be on my slide. There are some things that are not. So next slide should be my face. Okay, I believe you can still see my screen. If at 10 points you can't see my screen or you can't hear me, please call my attention. So this is me. This is Ezekiel Alabi, and I'm a 400 level University of Nigeria, Abuja, and I'm currently on my industrial training program, my 6 months industrial training program, and this is a project I started. One of the different projects that I have done this year. Maybe I'll give us a backlog of it later, but earlier this year I worked on a project called Building with Intention, and also had leveraging IT for young people and a number of other things. Let's not get into that. So my next slide, I see goodness is on hold. Maybe as a call. Okay. I'm trying to admit people into the call. All right. So I think Jason's network has been fixed, so he's able to join us now. So as I was saying, right, we received like 34 applications for this, and like 13 people were shortlisted. If you remember vividly, I actually tell you that the number of people did not get in, right, and then we had like 9 people on the team now. So on the group chat, there are 10 people on the team, right? So I just want to let you know that your being in this team is not by chance. Your being in this team was not just luck, right? I looked into your application rather, and I felt you'd be a good fit for this. And as this presentation progresses, I'll do a good job in explaining the passion of my heart, the vision of my heart for this policy review that we're about to do. Primarily, this is a project I'm taking up, but I just sensed that it was going to, like, when they say there's strength in numbers. It was something I wanted to do just on my own. But then I thought if we could bring like people together and we could do this together, we could really multiply the impact we would have. So shortly you should see a table of content. So this table of contents doesn't exactly cover everything that is inside the slides because the content of the slides is quite dynamic and some things had to be added from time to time that I didn't find time to add to this table of contents. But essentially, we'll be looking at the vision for this policy review. We'll be looking at the structure of the program. We'll be looking at how we approach policy analysis, personal branding, team roles, the values and standards that we hold in this team, and our tools for communication. Just want to confirm the number of people on the call. Okay. All right. So to the next slide. Try to be fast, like we have a lot to cover. So why this program exists, right? Why this program exists? I'll be referring to some things that I've shared with us before, because this is really establishing the structure for everything that we are doing. I think now we have everybody on the call except Bright and one other person. So the goal of this primarily is to learn about AI policies. I saw from some of our applications that a number of us, this is just our first experience, our first exposure to AI or to policy development generally. I know a number of us have done some things regarding policy. A number of us have interacted with it in one form or the other, right? But this is going to be a full-blown policy work. So I forgot to add, just, please, can you mute your mic? I just muted it. Okay, just to add, last summer I worked with System Strategy and Policy Lab. It's a policy think tank based in Abuja, and I was able to work on a number of things. That was part of my first experiences with real policy development. Worked on like monitoring and evaluation for a project that was done by United Kingdom Foreign Commonwealth Development Organization Office, something like that. Um, I worked on that, evaluated the policies of President Buhari and President Tinubu regarding rice, like different rice reforms, how it has affected Nigeria's domestic capacity and the harms that it has caused in different areas. Then one other notable project that I worked on was, I really learned about policy development, learned about policy analysis and those different things. Then I also evaluated, there was this course, I had never even known that I was going to do something regarding air policy, but there was a course by Cosmopolitan University for policymakers regarding AI. And I was just looking at the curriculum for the policymakers. So essentially like benchmarking it or evaluating the curriculum they were about to use to train those people regarding AI. So like making policymakers aware about AI, right? And from what I can remember, I mean, what we are going to be dealing with in this team is way more way more deep than what they've had. So I've shared some materials with us over the course of the week. I think by now I should have shared 2 videos with us already. And okay, I would explain more as we proceed. So the first goal of this is that we learn about how to develop AI policies, AI governance, AI regulations, and strategy, right? So we are learning generally. If we are able to learn about AI policies in this project, if that is all we're able to accomplish, then we have made good use of our time, right? And then the second thing is building a brand. Work that is not seen cannot be rewarded. That's a mantra that I literally live by, right? So it will look as if half of the work we are doing here is on social media. We would get into the nitty-gritties of it. So I might have to skip over some parts of the presentation to cover that tomorrow, because I feel like we need to really agree on some things as quick as possible. Right. So the first goal is to learn about these things. So we're going to be moving from novices in AI policy to becoming experts, gurus in AI policy, right? And then um, just a brief expand or a brief side tracking. When I also started dipping my hands into these things, right? I was sort of just consuming everything innocently. I didn't know so much. But like now, I can literally click on a panel session on YouTube. And what I'm looking for is what the panelists have to say that I've not heard before, because I've sort of like just known, I've kind of read more about it. And you can almost know what people talk about when they're asked to talk about AI, talk about the risks, talk about the way. Let's go ahead. The second thing is brand building. I've spoken about how you need to show your work. So be building professional identity, in the sense that at the end of this policy review, somebody can scroll on your LinkedIn profile and say that, oh, wow, can you tell me about this country? What is this country doing about AI and all that? Then continental impact, right? The goal is to produce a comprehensive publication quality AI policy review that is relevant to the entire continent. So, one thing I wanted to mention is this, like I was saying earlier, this is not an academic work in the sense of it. This is not academic. But we want to write, we want to give our output, because the number of what we'll be producing, aside from the media related stuff, will be will be written. The number of the things we'll be producing will be written, right? So we want to produce these things to a quality that if we were to send it to a journal for publishing, right, it would be something that is comparable, something that can be published. And we'll be reading a lot of research papers as this progresses. I don't know if it was someone here I was mentioning to, that this will require a lot of reading. Have to read up on a lot of things, right? So we want to, and as you're reading, right, it starts shaping your own acumen. You are also able to write better as you read better. Okay. So our priorities, like I said, is to learn. Second is to build a personal brand. And the policy review is just really by the side. We I've never articulated this way before. We are the outputs of this project we have taken up. Let me say it again. We are the outputs of these projects we have taken up. Every other thing, like the goal of this primarily is that the Ezekiel, you can put your name, the Bright, the Jason that is getting into this policy review is not the same Bright that is coming out of it, and that you are better equipped to be of service to policymakers, be of service to governments, and be of service to societies. Because even this policy review is not just going to be tended towards policymakers. As we proceed, we would see how we want this policy review to also be applicable to the private sector, to people in government, right? Please remind me around 10:05. Maybe we'll just take like a 5 minutes or 3 minutes break and come back. Okay, so move to the next slide. Tracker working. So my device just freezed. A moment. It's just a moment. All right. So I'll be sharing my screen again now. Okay, can you confirm that you can still see my screen? Maybe with a thumbs up or something. Okay, thank you very much. So, basically, right, we are looking into the future of this policy review. Like someone was saying on the group chat, was it yesterday, was it Bright that was mentioning that he saw that just a handful of African countries, I think the number is 22, just about 22 African countries have national AI strategies. And that's even the laughable part of it. National AI strategies are not even AI policies. And as we begin to look into this, maybe we would read a number of these AI strategies and would have an idea of what they are about. These AI strategies are not even AI policies. They don't speak to the governance. They don't speak to the regulation of this AI technology, right? And approximately 40 African countries don't even have a national AI strategy, talk less of AI policy. And no African country has an AI policy yet that has been passed into law or anything of that sort. And gradually, there's demand for capacity for people to be able to regulate AI, have knowledge about governance of AI. So essentially, we are positioning ourselves for the future. We are positioning ourselves for the future as as this need progresses, right? So that's for that. I would like to speak to the leadership structure of this. So for now, we might have noticed that I'm probably the only one that has been reaching out to us or speaking with us regarding this AI policy review, right? But that's going to change very soon, probably just after this meeting. How many of us are here? Okay, I think like 2 people are not here. Okay. So, like I was saying, right, I've probably been the only one reaching out to us after this, right? But eventually would take up volunteers and we'll get to that part, right? And then this is would get into the nitty-gritties of the structure of the work in the working group, right? So I'll give a brief overview, then I would move through the slides and see how it's gonna be. And I'd just like to let you guys know this. Just as much as a team member as every other person here. Like I'm not I'm not the convener. I'm not training us. I'm not what's the word? It's not like a lecturer student relationship. It's not a lecturer student hierarchy. In fact, I will be part of some of the working groups, not to lead the working group. Like me too, I'm going to research, I'm going to write, I'm going to have team meeting. Like we are learning through this together. You see the word co-learner. That's what is there under the name of the project lead, right? I'm learning about AI policies as much as every one of us. I might know some things that we don't know. I might have access to some things we don't know yet. But like I'm also here to learn. I'm also here to read. I'll also be making presentations. Like I'm just here to like when they say facilitator, I'm just here to facilitate the experience and steer the work. And very soon I'll not be the only one facilitating the experience, right? We'd also have people that would help with that in just a few minutes. So when we start this work, right, we would send out like a document, it most likely tomorrow, that contains a list of topics. So there are two things that can happen. Is either after this orientation session, you choose for this first week, you choose to go just read up something on just search out something that piques your interest regarding AI policy. And you come back and make a presentation to the team. Or you give a topic that you are going to research over the week and come back and give a presentation to the team. I would also go into the details of what the outputs to the team will look like eventually. Then eventually tomorrow we'll talk about the capstone project. Okay, so like I was saying, you can either choose to go take your own initiative and do what you want to do, or you work in a subgroup. So a subgroup can be like 2 to 3 people, maybe maximum of 4 people in the subgroup, right? And then they work together on that topic and they produce the output. They might choose to meet aside from a main meeting. Remember, we mentioned that we would have at least one meeting every week. So the other meeting is subject to the team members. And I'm looking forward to our suggestions on how we should handle these subgroups, right? So if we should be creating, because subgroups will be dynamic, the subgroups will be assigned by interest. So after reading through our applications, I see one of us is like very tended towards law. Some people are very interested in the technical nitty-gritties of AI. Some people are interested in maybe educational aspects of AI. And some people just have like a general view on AI, right? So if you have a particular interest you want to pursue, you want to deep dive on, feel free to go ahead. If there are other people that have similar interests with you, they can work with you on that topic. And if you're just neutral, you don't have any interest that you want to pursue, then you could just form a group with similar people and people find the topic. But aside from pursuing your interest or your initiative in the course of the research, we are going to send out like topics. So in the course of my own reading and my own study, I have come across certain things that AI touches on, right? And then those can be shared with us, and you can just pick one of those that you're interested in working on, and you work on that for the week. So this is just saying approximately 30 minutes check-in a week, where you can assign your tasks and follow up on it. All right. So this next slide that says how we work is just a breakdown of what I was saying earlier. You select a topic either chosen from a distributed topic bank or a similar topic. You research and then you write about it, a minimum of 400 words. So let me explain the concept of it. I hope you guys now see why I said this orientation meeting is very important. Like if you just, because we will not do this again throughout the when the work eventually starts. Right? We won't be doing all this what's the word? Is this housekeeping again, right? It's just for now. And I hope you are really interested in AI policies because that's what you are going to be eating and drinking and sleeping over the next couple of weeks. So like we are going to be researching on different topics. So when you come on a Saturday and you join a meeting, you are not just there to present your slides and go. You are there to learn as much as possible from every other person's presentation because that's really where the strength of the numbers come in. You would start to compress what would have taken you months to learn about AI policies and the rest. So this is just we are just getting started. As I was saying, we'll select the topic, then the research writing, right? So you are supposed to have 2 outputs for your research. I would still go into more details about that later. But now that we are here, let me just talk about it. So every week, once you pick a topic to research on, right, then you should, you're expected to produce an output of 400 words cap, 400 words maximum, right? Not minimum. I would explain the two sides of it. So essentially, if what you have found, what you are writing is reaching up to 700 words, 800 words, write it. Like write it. Nobody's stopping you. Write it. Put your citations and put your references. That's something you also need to take note of. We should check out how to do APA citations. So we're going to be using that as standard for our writings. And APA citations and always have your references at the end of your writing. We'll see the structure of the writing later. But then you now want to have for everything that you write, as long as it may be, maybe 1,000 words, maybe 1,500 words, to have a 400 word version of that thing you have written. So this 400 word is subject to change. If after we start we feel like 400 words is too small, we could make it 500 words. But essentially, what's going to happen is that as the policy review progresses, right, we want to have a body of knowledge, a body of work that we have done. And if we don't have a standard by which we document that work, at the end of these 16 weeks and you say, oh, I want to look through everything that I've done, it will just be so scattered. Maybe somebody wrote 5,000 word essay, that person wrote 200 word essay, and that person wrote 700 word essay. Like it's so difficult to keep up with, right? So we're just capping it at 400 words. I think that 400 words is a magic number. Remember the essay for application was 400 words. So as I was saying, right, 400 words essay, and then you make slides. That's the third thing. You build a slide deck to present. So the slides you're expected to present should be clean. we just have just a slide structure. We don't really have a slide template, but we just have guidelines for your slides. Have guidelines for slides. Those will be shared with us too. Then we'll be working with Google Slides, right? So we'll be working with Google Slides. So you can share your slides with people with a link, and we don't have to be sending documents across. So also looking forward to our suggestion. If we should have a centralized drive, I think that would be the best thing. So you upload your slides to the drive, and usually once you upload this PowerPoint slide to Drive, you can open it in Google Slides. So that's how we're going to be working. You build your slide deck and then you make presentation. I'm already jumping ahead of myself, but I sincerely feel I should just explain it so that when we get to that particular slide where all this is on, we won't spend so much time. So you make a slide, and maximum number of slides for your slides should be 10. You don't want slides that are more than 10. And every weekend or any day that we choose to meet, we'll get to the point where we decide the day we'll be meeting to. You make a 10-minute presentation from that slide. So if there are 3 team members, they could split the presentations amongst themselves and present to all of us. If it's 2 team members, they can split the time amongst themselves and present to all of us. And if it happens to be one person, which I doubt, but if it happens to be one person, that one person presents to us too. So we'd find like a 2-hour time block every week that will be meeting. So we know that okay, every week this is the time we'll be meeting. Individual work is allowed, but teamwork is encouraged too. So submitting our work, I've spoken about the doc and the PDF. So for submission of the work, right? Submission of the work should be done before 12 a.m. of the day we'll be meeting. So if we'll be meeting on a Thursday, right? If we are meeting on Thursday, that means we have 7-hour gaps every Thursday to work on, or every week, 7-hour clock that we're going to be meeting up with. Right. So that means that you should submit your work Wednesday midnight. And yeah, so that's going to be the standard going forward. So you submit Wednesday midnight so that all of Thursday you can just go and chill and you can come and present to us. So I've spoken about presenting and discussion. So the goal of presenting, see, like I would like to remind us, this thing is not a school project that you're just doing to get a mark. It's not a school project that you're just doing to get score, right? We are learning, like we're actively learning. Like if there's opportunity to go for a conference now, let's say we want to build ourselves so much so that we can just say, hello Daniel, please, and there's a conference happen in Continental Hotel in Lagos. Sorry, yes, I think it's Oriental Hotel in Lagos, I think. Please go and represent us. And there's a panel session about the effects of AI governance in blah 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 in sub-Saharan Africa. Like we want people that can just go there and deliver, right? Not waiting for, like, you just understand. And the goal is that as when we are working in teams, when we are working in groups, when we are more, we're able to compress time to learn so much more about this thing than we would have done when we were working individually. And it's just being able to learn from others and draw from others. So essentially, we are multiplying our strengths. That's just the word I find to describe it. So team compositions can be dynamic. You can work with the same team. You can work with a different team. All right. Okay. So research and submission standards. So recommended essay structure. So this is for the 400-word essay. So it should start with like an executive summary. So something maybe like one paragraph that someone can just read and have a good idea of everything that you have written. And you understand why we need to have this structure to our writing. If we continue this way, let's say we have an average of 3 documents every week for, let's say, 15 weeks. That means at the end of this policy review, we would have 45 documents. So you imagine what that looks like, right? So you don't want 45 documents that are scattered, tattered, not easy to go through, right? I think eventually I even have to come up with formatting guidelines so that those documents look very presentable and we can easily share them with people if we have to. So recommended essay structure. And then I also want to point out why these slides are so detailed. These slides are for posterity's sake. These slides are for legacy. They would eventually be shared with us. But this one will not be shared this night because I might still be making some changes on it ahead of tomorrow. Right. But these slides are going to be there like a manual that will be sent as PDF and you can refer to every time as we proceed in the course of this work. So this recommended essay structure, having executive summary, having introduction, having maybe like analysis, discussion, what you found, what you're thinking, and specific policy recommendations. Remember this is a policy review. And sincerely, this is not big English. Policy recommendation is just saying what should government do? What should government do about this thing? That's the policy recommendation. That's what it is. We're going to be reading national AI strategies, maybe like just a number of them. There aren't so much. So maybe we can split it across the subgroups to read some national AI strategies. So you can see what these policies actually look like. And then there's also the EU AI Act, there's the Malabo Convention, there's the Bletchley Declaration, and a number of other things. As you are researching, you'd also be finding these things. And as you're sharing it with us, you'd be seeing things that you need to dig deep into, and then obviously a conclusion for it. So the required submission, like I was saying earlier, would want a Word document version and a PDF version, and then your slide decks. So citation, I've mentioned earlier, the APA citation format. If you're going to be working with AI, you have to be very, very careful of fabricated citations, hallucinated citations. So don't blindly copy citations from AI systems, and always include a complete reference list for your submission. So like I said earlier, all submissions must be ready 12 a.m. midnight on the day of the scheduled meeting. That's before the meeting. This, if you can still hear me, I can still see my screen. Can you give me a thumbs up? All right, just saw one thumbs up. Okay. Thank you very much, guys. So going ahead, so policy impact and stakeholder outreach. So whilst I was having conversations with us regarding this, one of us was explaining how that person is concerned that this work doesn't just end up in people's downloads. So that, like, it's not just for vibes. Like, we're not just doing it because it feels nice. Oh, policy review, African AI policy review. Oh my goodness, Africa, continental. It sounds exciting, right? But we're not just doing it for the vibes. We're not just doing it for the chill, right? So we want to have real world impact. Like, now, this is part of why I wanted to have this orientation session with us. Like, after this policy review documents that we're going to produce, like, I want it to be that we'll be receiving phone calls from people saying, "Oh, I saw the African Air Policy Review that you put out. My organization is trying to do this and do this and do this. Would you mind coming to spend like an hour with us so we can think through? We can like that's kind of thing I want us to achieve. That's a senator in the in of Abuja, what's it called, of Amak, can call, or somebody in his office can call and say, okay, we are trying to raise the motion for a Nigerian AI Act, and we saw the African AI policy review that you put out, and we believe that your contributions will be very valuable to what you are doing." Like that's the impact we want to achieve. And please don't offset the responsibility of achieving this on me. It's on all of us that this work that we are doing, we will have real going to be reaching out to people. So you would see three things on your screen right now, I believe: research outputs, strategic outreach, and reward impact. Research outputs, strategic outreach, and reward impact. Like, sincerely, this is the equation of everything we are doing. We are going to be researching, we are going to be learning, but then we are going to be reaching out to stakeholders. Very soon, you would see that some of the roles we have for volunteers is something called a partnerships officer. And this person would help us, like that would be the job of that person, to help us reach out to organizations. As you start reading AI documents, you would see them calling some organizations here and there, calling some organizations here and there. Just to put this out there, I have finished reading the National AI Strategy of Nigeria. And at least after reading that document, you should have an idea of at least 5 organizations that will probably be interested in what we are producing in this African AI policy review that we're working on. And the goal is that there's real world impact. I've spoken with someone at World Trade Center Abuja. I'll tell us a number of people that I've spoken to about this already, and how we can also, bring our own hands on deck to get this going forward. So targeted engagement, engaging policymakers, institutions, regional bodies, outreach trackers, So this is also this one will be the job of person that will be doing partnerships for us. Like so everybody tells us who they are speaking with, who they are reaching out to at the moment, and probably have like a drop down beside, okay, pending, expecting feedback from them. Um maybe this one, maybe it fell through, maybe it was successful, if you're going to be having a meeting with them, all that. So they have that tracker so that maybe everybody is not reaching out to the same people. Because if you read the same documents, you feel like reaching out to the same people, then you'll be having like repetitive work. So network leverage too, right? If you have professional networks, personal networks, I'm really looking forward to that because that can also help us extend the reach of the program. And if you're asking a question that, oh, what do I reach out to these people about? Trust me, just hold on. Let's just start working a bit, maybe into the fourth week, fifth week. You start seeing what stakeholders can do in this regard. And you can also recommend people that we can engage with, people we can speak with at any point in time. It seems somebody just left the meeting. Okay. So this all this is still the technical aspects. We'll soon get into the soft part, like soft, when they add skills, soft skills. We'll soon get into the soft skills area. So what's the approach of this policy review? The first thing, like I said, is to learn. Initially, right, what I thought we were going to do is we'll just read all the national AI strategies that exist in Africa. And once we just finish reading it, we'll now say, okay, these are the gaps that we have found. This is what government should do. Then we'll now write it inside the long document. Then we'll now export it as PDF. We'll design it to be fine. We'll add pictures and all those things. Then we'll post it on LinkedIn. Then we'll say, oh, this is our African AI policy review report. Then maybe people will like it, people will share it, people will comment on it, and that'll be the end. But like once you start reading, oh my goodness, it starts opening up like layers. You know how layers, onions has layers. It starts opening up like layers. And you start seeing a lot of things that you have not seen before. And then you start seeing that wow, this AI policy is even beyond the national AI strategy. It's even beyond the AI policies that are not yet in place. It's beyond Africa. Like you start seeing the multifaceted areas of it, right? Learning, attending webinars. There are some I shared a webinar with us. I see some other ones that I come across, and I just want to give us an heads up, right? If you if you take this policy review up to a reasonable extent, it might alter your algorithm a little bit. You might start seeing some videos more in line with AI policies, AI capacity, than you usually see on some other things. So I don't know, just look out for that. So also be identifying policy gaps in the course of the reading I've done so far. There are some gaps that I've found that okay, wow, we don't have policies that cover this. We don't have policies that cover this. This is a blind spot. This is a blind spot. If a policy is actually supposed to be put in place, we should consider this, and this, right? So those are some things. Then also be making recommendations. So for every topic that we touch on, every topic that we research on, right, we'll be making recommendations, of course, for governments, for policymakers, for organizations, and all to go ahead with. So that's it for this slide. What's on the next slide? So these are values. We are gradually getting to the soft parts of this presentation, right? So the initial area was just talking about the technical areas. So here we value integrity. We value integrity. And I will lump integrity, accountability, and communication all together. I want you to know that maybe the process of application might have been stringent up to this point, right? Maybe you had to write a 400-word essay, maybe it took you time to write that essay. You had to be on a call. You had to be on a call with somebody for 30 minutes. You had to schedule a meeting and all those things, attend the meeting. I feel like some of us felt like we're having an interview, but it wasn't really like that now. There was that. Then obviously you now have to be on the team, and then we said, oh, we need 6 to 7 hours of your time. You have to sign a document to join. It feels very formal. It feels very very cranky, very cringy, very difficult, and all those things, right? But the goal is we just want to be sure that you can commit to this, because this is not a sprint, right? This is a marathon. And if somewhere deep down in your heart you're having second thoughts about your commitment to this, it is best that you step back. In every conversation with everybody that has engaged me on this, I have intentionally, deliberately tried my best to discourage them from joining. Because once we join and yeah, what's the word? Is it half committed, one leg in, one leg out? If that's how you are, then even you yourself, you just be wasting your own time. And it's terrible. It's not good for anybody. You'll be wasting our time, you'll be wasting your time. Um and I remember if we saw in the document that I sent that you can be advised to withdraw or you can be removed from the team. I don't know, this number has not been up to 10 on this call. So I think one person has not been part of us. If you are unable to keep up and might just ask you to get out, it's not that harsh, but you might just be excused, right? We don't want you to be putting yourself, as beautiful as it is. Trust me, I know that this project is a great project, and I know this project is going to do really well. I know it's going to get a lot of publicity, and I know it's going to have a lot of impact, right? So we are not in doubt about the quality of what we're about to do. We know it's something everybody wants to be a part of. But if your time does not permit you to be here, then we just really want to advise you to take a step back, because half commitment doesn't do anybody good. So back to these values that I was saying, integrity, right? We want people to be able to keep to their words. We want people to be accountable to, right? Um, the number of us, whilst we were applying, I'd mentioned that, oh, please, at so point in time, I would be needing to write exams. I'll be needing to take a break. Trust me, you can take a break, a week break, maximum 2 weeks break, please. Right? You can take a break. You can ask for permission. Oh, please, I won't be around so time. I won't be able to make it for the meeting today. But there's a way you will take permission to that it starts to show that you are not able to, you are not available again, right? There's an extent to which you can take permission to that point. And I will not say the limit of permission you can take, but you just have it at the back of your mind that if it starts becoming apparent that your time does not permit you to commit, you'd be advised to leave, right? But please, I'm not here to kill anybody. I'm not here to suck anybody's blood. The goal is not to squeeze our life out. We just want to be sure that we are actually committed to this. So please keep accountable. Oh, I'm not able to submit this thing by 12 a.m. midnight. I will submit it by daybreak. I'll submit it before 12 noon. Just be accountable. Like, just be accountable. Don't let us tag you on the group chats and you are ghosting us for days. We called you, you did not pick up. Like, all those things, it's not necessary. Just once your body starts to do like that, just enter my DM and tell me you're not doing again, so that you can leave the team, right? Once you are not sure again, you are not seeing where this thing is going, just let us know so that you can be excused, right? Please, we want accountability, and then moving to respect, right? Mutual respect within each and every one of us. A number of us here are doing awesome stuff already, and see, like I said earlier, I'm a co-learner. So all that is different between me and us in this team is probably just our roles and responsibilities. I am as much a student, as much a normal human being as every one of us. In other settings, I'll be beneath the food chain of many of us, right? So it's important that there's mutual respect within the team. There's mutual respect. You talk to people with respect. You don't insult people. You respect their work. Communication, like I said earlier, you value communication as much as possible. Openness too, right? That you are open. That if you are going through something, you say it. If you are encountering any challenge, you say it. And we value professionalism too, right? Um, we don't use pigeon on this group chat. Please try as much as possible not to use pigeon. Be professional. Talk to people professionally, right? And dependability. Is what's the word? Being able to count on someone, right? That we can leave the call and go and say, okay, in the next 3 days, we'll be back at our work. And by the next 3 days, everybody sends their work to the group chat. And we're like, okay, let's look at this, let's look at this. We say we would meet by 8, and everybody shows up by 8, right? And excellence. So excellence to me is just attention to details, just trying to put in your best and outdo yourself on everything, like doing better than the last time you did it. That's the definition of excellence in this sense. Okay, your last research, your last reports, your last slides, your last slide should never be better than the next one, your than the current one. Your last report should never be better than the new one, right? You're always striving to outdo yourself. You're always striving to do better than you did before. Right. So that's it for our values. This is not collectively. There are other values that we have here that probably were not worded here, but I believe you have an idea of what the context is. So this is also about the teams, right? I believe we are seeing the reason why it is important we have this orientation. If anyone who is not able to attend this orientation and does not watch the recording and give their feedback, that person will be removed from the team. Because if you didn't watch this orientation, then you basically just be a pain for any team member you'll be working with, because you just be lost. You don't know what's going on. So strongest teams are built by proactive people. So very much in this policy review, we are encouraging taking initiative. Like I'm looking forward to people coming on the group chat and saying, "Oh, team guys, I think we can do this thing this way. Oh, have you guys seen this thing? How can we do this thing this way? Okay, I think we can structure our reports this way. I think look at this tool. I tried it yesterday. It was really good. You guys should check it out. Like we value initiative. Don't just look at these things that we have laid out and be like, oh, this is what they have said. This is what we will do. Like share your own idea. Like even if you say, oh, this policy review self, let's not do it like this again. What will we do is that we'll be shooting content. We'll be shooting content every week. Everybody will be putting content on their social media platforms. We'll tag this person, tag this person, tag this person, tag this person. Come up with your idea, share it with us. Let's see how we're going to make it work. If you feel like, oh wow, we need to speak to this organization, or you even feel like at the end of this policy review, we should have a physical event where people that are able to make it for the event are able to make it, and we invite stakeholders, we invite NITDA, NCAIR, Data Science Nigeria, universities, legislative aid to these House of Rep members, and we invite them and we have a physical conference. We make presentations to these people, we have panel sessions with them. Like, just bring your idea. Take that initiative. Don't feel locked up in anything. Like I said, this is as much a project of every one of us as it is mine, right? So the responsibility to make this project best, make it wonderful, rests on every one of us. Also taking ownership, right? If you see that something is wrong, if you see that something is not working, don't just say, oh, is that person's work? Oh, is this person's work? Is the work of the collective. And I feel like the selection process has been quite rigorous. That anybody who has made it thus far was actually interested in being here, right? So you can be rest assured that everybody's actually trying to put in their best. So if you are working on a team and it feels like, oh, somebody is not pulling their weight, after trying to have a conversation with them, your next goal should be to support them as much as you can, right? Then collaboration, always helping other people to build. Don't try to. We're not doing superstar here, right? Everybody, I've been saying it, right? At the end of this policy review, everyone who has contributed will get due credit for the work that they have done. Due credit for the work that they have done. If we are publishing a paper, everyone's name will be on it. If we are publishing a report, everyone's name will be on it. If we are making a post, everybody will be tagged. Right. So accountability, we've spoken about this earlier. So we'll just go to how this started. Uh, I don't know if you can see the slide. Maybe when I send it to you, you'll see the transparent aspects very well. But trust me, this policy review was a big leap for me. I'd just been interacting with AI related stuff. I'd been very interested in public policy and policy development. And this idea just came that why not let's work on this African AI policy review. In fact, I did not even take time to research. I did not take time to. What was supposed to be here was discovery, then research, then initiative. Trust me, it was just a straight line from idea to execution. And we are here. So now we are doing the discovery and we are doing the research and everything is piecing together now. But this was how it happened. This was how it happened. I wanted to leave the discovery and research there, but I felt the power is in the authenticity of the story, right? So that's actually how it happened. Then this is just a visualization of what we'll be engaging with here. So by 10:07, I think we could take a brief break. Please don't leave the call. You can stay on the call, and I'll resume my presentation by 10:10. 10:10. Then we'll go ahead from there. Please, is that fine? I need feedback from us.
Yes, no problem.
All right. So back by 10:10. You want to take a cup of water want to reply to your WhatsApp message, you can please do that. We're back by 10:10. Hello guys, we back. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Awesome. So, all right. So I would be sharing a feedback form with us at the end of this call. Please just do remind me. Lenses is not able to join. I really don't know why. and he has joined before. Maybe his network, I don't know why. So this infographic that you can see on the screen, just sorts of, I feel like it encapsulates the concept of the African AI policy review, right? We have learning, like we have mentioned earlier, analyzing, thinking, synthesizing these things, presenting, you know, teaching ourselves. Oh, I've not told you guys, right? You guys want to hear the gist. So, like, like I mentioned earlier, let me see if I can find the slide. Um, so is this teaching that made me remember had not mentioned to us before. Because I did something that maybe a number of us did not know about. But now that we are here, I don't think there's a problem to share. So if you were able to join this session at the beginning, if you're able to join this session at the beginning, can you guys see this slide? This funny slide, right? So we had 34 applications. Then 13 people were shortlisted. Then 9 people were selected to join the team, right? Um, whose video is on? You can turn your video off. The time for video sharing is coming very soon. Yeah, so I think we'd have to share our videos as we progress, because I think it just helps us to be more accountable. But that one is not legalistic, sir. But if you want to keep your video on, you can keep it on. As I was saying, what I was saying about teaching, right? So not everybody was able to join the team, and not because they could not join the team. Some people were just really occupied. Like some people had other like demands, other commitments that did not allow them to join. So what we did was this. What I did was this. So we have another what's it called? Another group, another session called the AI Policy Learning Group. So this is not African AI Policy Review now. It's an AI Policy Learning Group, because if you do a robust study of African AI policy, in the course of your reading, you would learn about AI policy. What should be existent in a robust AI policy? What should be the makeup of a good AI policy, right? So some of these people, like people that we didn't get on the team, right? We offered them the opportunity to sign up for the learning group. And if you remember, in the selection mail you got to, there was the option to join the learning group, right? So it's some of us here, very wonderful, smart, intelligent people like us here that would be taking some of the sessions in the learning group. So you'd have an opportunity to teach. And then just heads up, right? It's only that one is not compulsory. That one is just volunteer if you're interested in taking any session. So we'd make a flyer, we'd do like a webinar, your name is on it, your picture is on it, and you can post it on LinkedIn that you're teaching people about AI policies. But that's just by the way, but yeah, you get to learn and then you get to contribute. So one thing I'm trying to do too is to try to speak with academics to get their input on how we can publish some of this stuff as academic papers. So it's not really the goal, it's just something by the way. I mentioned to someone on a call that the output of this AI policy review is very dynamic. Someone trying to join. Oh, Tim Lane is here. Thank you, Lord. Yeah, so Tim Lane is here. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Like I was saying, the output of this AI policy review is very dynamic. Guys, I hope you can hear me clearly. I'm really speaking from my heart now. I'm done with this. I'm not looking at the slides right now. The output of the AI policy review is dynamic. What we know is on this slide. Where is it? This slide. This policy review approach. This is our direction. This is what we know that we're about to do. What what can come out of this policy review? The value we can create from this policy review is very dynamic. Even me, I don't know it. But I am confident in our abilities. Like everybody on this team is very smart. Everybody on this team is very committed. Everybody on this team is very intelligent. And I believe that once we just go in this direction, yes, we know some things we are going to do. Oh, maybe we will create a report, or maybe we'll post on LinkedIn, or maybe we'll make some posts, or maybe we'll make some videos and do some publicity around this thing, or we'll make slides, we'll do presentations. But like the core outputs, I don't know what it is yet, but I'm really looking forward to ideas from us on what we can create that will make this AI policy review, produce something that will be useful for business people. Like I envision a time that people will be having board meetings and they literally pull up this AI policy review and say, oh, these people found this and found this and found this. On this ground, I believe this is the best direction for this company to go. That's the vision I have in mind. Right. So the output is still very, very dynamic. Like I was saying, it could be a series, a podcast series, it could be a webinar series, it could be a physical event. Like I don't know, it could be an engagement with National Assembly, to start maybe Nigerian AI Act. Like it could be anything. We could advocate. Like trust me, it could be anything, anything. I learned in the course of some of my reading that I think some particular National Assembly or House of Rep people have actually made some moves towards maybe like having like an AI Act. Maybe like they've raised the motion already. I've not gone into more detail around that, but we could literally reach out to these what's it called? These government people. Maybe reach out to these civil society organizations that pressured them to raise that motion and see how we can work with them to ensure that the motion they are raising is actually more robust, right? So the output of this policy review is still very dynamic. Even I don't know it, but what we have is direction, and we keep moving in the form of that in that direction till we get to where we are going to. So by the end of this policy review, I'm really optimistic that we're going to produce real value that will be useful not just to governments. See, like when you start reading this policy thing, you start realizing that it's not even about governments, people, man. Like it's multifaceted, multifaceted. And once you read AI policy review too, it gives you help to be able to do certain other things. So about tools and platforms. So you might be wondering, oh, we are doing AI policy review. Is it AI we used to do it too? Yes and no. All right. So we'll be going into some guidelines around AI usage, but these are just some tools I believe we could make use of that would really make our work easier. So obviously we all know ChatGPT. ChatGPT is a large language model. So Consensus AI is an AI tool that I found that sources information only from academic papers and it cites the academic paper. So once you click on it doesn't take you to a website, it takes you to the paper that was published. Then Claude is also a large language model. Claude can help you make slides. Claude can help you like review your work. Claude can help you structure your work. But the funny thing, right? Can you still see the screen now? Like, what was the last thing you saw? You can mute your mic, because I'm not always looking at chat. Right? Can you hear me? What was the last thing you saw? Please, can we still see my screen?
Yes, you can see too.
Okay. Oh my, Jordan, I'm just seeing your message, but I think Goodness dropped a message that we're no longer using Google Meet, that we are using Teams because we just considered the need to record. That's why we decided to go ahead with Teams. So sorry if that was like a misunderstanding. I think Goodness already dropped that message. So Bright, I hope you can see my screen. I would go ahead from here. So I was talking about Consensus, ChatGPT, and Claude, right? And I just wanted to mention, see, I'm not scared. I'm not scared for us to utilize this. I don't know if I mentioned inside the document. If your work is not good enough, we're going to reject it, and you have to go and do it again. If you produce work that you just downloaded from ChatGPT, we will know because we have used it too, right? I'm not even talking about AI checker now. This is not even AI detector, right? If you produce AI work, we'll send it back to you. Go and do it again. And trust me, some of the criteria that people were used to cut out from the selection process for this was that they just blended their essays with AI. So we are not intending to do that here today or during this policy review. And AI can only be as good as the person that is using it. It's just a tool. If you, it's just a tool, right? It can only be as good as you know how to wield it, right? So as much as we are encouraging AI usage, you are not telling you to go and be typing everything to your hand, right? But please ensure that your initiative and your original draft is still there. We'll go into better breakdown of that. Then we have Perplexity. Perplexity is also like is it a web browser is called, right? But it also works like Consensus. and it works well with search. It searches things better than ChatGPT does. You can use it to find YouTube videos, find a lot of things. Then Google Scholar, of course. Google Scholar helps you to find academic papers, and YouTube, of course, because a lot of people that we are looking out for here do panel sessions, and many of these panel sessions are on YouTube. So that's it for tools and platforms. So let me go to the guidelines for responsible AI usage. Eventually, I think I'll share a document titled Responsible AI with us. So it's like some guidelines of AI policy development and AI governance. So first thing that you have to do whenever you have a task at your hand is to think, what do you actually know or what don't you know about it? Like resist the urge to to let AI do that thinking for you. I'll just refer back to the essays that we wrote. Guys, I think we'll be ending this meeting by 11. I don't think I'll be able to do 10:30. Just we have to wrap up some things today. So we'll continue tomorrow evening. And by the special grace of God, this call will end before 11 p.m. by the special grace of God. And I'm holding you guys to keep me accountable to it. So, like I was saying, right, in the course of the applications for the AI policy review, um, I didn't even need to use an AI checker because the project was so much on my hand. I can let you guys know. I read some people's essays. Some people that I read your essay up to 3 times, if not 4 times. That's how much I read those essays. And when you read the essays, right? When you read the essays, if you read one, you just read one independently on its own. You can say, "Oh wow, this essay is wonderful. This essay is beautiful." But when you have to read 10 essays, 20 essays on the same subject or the same theme, then you start to see it's like, did these people use a template to write this thing? Why is it flowing from AI tools for farmers to AI tool that is not trained on African something? Like you just see it's like they have like a block, like different blocks of text that are just paraphrased and rearranged. And you just see that it's not these guys that wrote this thing. It's like somebody is submitting essays through like 10 different people. And that's just because those people probably just copied the question and just say, oh, write me a 400 word essay on blah, 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 blah. And just copied it and pasted it. And I'm not even saying some of us did not utilize AI to aid our writing, but I saw initiative. Oh, this person actually wrote their draft before they used AI to do it. So you think by yourself and force yourself to come up with your own first draft, like how you'd have written it if AI did not exist at all. Then you now do your research too. Sometimes why we are blank when we have things to write is because we don't know anything about it. And instead of turning to AI, the first thing to do is to go and read up on it. So go on Google Scholar, go online, check websites, check blog posts, check YouTube, read and watch videos on it. Then you now use AI to improve and refine what you have written. And if you actually did your homework well, you would even know what to tell the AI to do to refine what you have written. Then obviously you want to review it to ensure that it still sticks in line with what you're trying to achieve. And obviously original thought is required. And sincerely, it's better to submit incomplete work than to submit something that shows no intellectual engagement. Like it just feels that bland. And what's the word? I wanted to exclamate. As you start reading about AI policy, when somebody is speaking gibberish, you will know, and it will irritate you because you to the layman they might be making sense. It's like wait, just two ways. The normal layman in the cab talking about government and how bad roads are bad, all those things, and then maybe a legislative aide that has meetings with senators and ministers explaining the reasons why some of these things are not in place. You see that the perspectives will be different and the depth of reasoning will also be different. So as you start studying about AI policies, right, you would you would start seeing where things are gibberish, and we will catch you. It's not only me. If you give us AI work, I'm not the only one that will flag it. Everybody will know because nobody will be a novice again, right? So this section is structured thinking. I think I should do something before this. I'll just keep ahead. We'll cover this tomorrow. Just need to do something first. So it's about the teams. about the things. I think we are complete on this call. So I think this is the best time to do this. Jordan, I sincerely apologize that you didn't get the message. I just hope you didn't miss so much. But we're recording it, right? So you can always go back. Okay, so we have some volunteer roles. I think I showed you guys the code. I showed you the hierarchy of the work, right? So we'll be having volunteers. Yes, that's table. Yeah, this is it. I believe you can see it, right? So yes, that's what should be on your screen now. So the volunteers are not under me, and the volunteers are not inside the working group. Neither are they inside the sub working group. The volunteers will just be there to help this policy review work better, right? Help this policy review work better and help people gain hands-on experience on a number of things. In case you feel like so trust this volunteer aspect, you know that you were not told about it before the policy review started, right? So you can choose to join, you cannot choose to join, it does not affect anything. I understand you are busy, so please, if you never have time, don't worry. Like it's not a must. It's just something by the side, and it won't be that intensive. You just do some extra things than everybody else is doing, to help the policy review be a success. So I'll be going ahead now to mention the different roles that we have for volunteering in the course of this 16 weeks African AI policy review. So the first role that we have is program officer. So we are going to be speaking up if we want to volunteer for these roles right here on this call, right here on this call, so we can get that out of the way, right? So we have programs officer. Um, so programs officer will help us coordinate project activities, ensure tasks are completed on schedule, track team performance, and maintain records, project outputs. So essentially, right, this is just somebody who would help. Okay, maybe please help schedule a meeting, help organize the working groups, help aggregate. Okay, these are different documents that we have produced. Help manage the Google Drive and things like that. Just those very very little things. Okay, how many videos do we want to come out this week? How many posts do we want to make on our social media pages? How many posts we want to make on our social media pages? Like those little things, those little things just to help with it. Like the kind of things I usually do. Like how I sent emails to us now. Like somebody that can assist with that, somebody that can follow up, maybe somebody to make a presentation on the learning group and of that sort, right? Somebody that can just arrange that. Then person might just help do this person might do some AI policy work more than the rest of us. And in that sense, like maybe the person will be the first person. You'll see those kind of videos I send to us, those kind of things I share with us. This person will probably be the first person to come across it. Like I mentioned about coming up with research topics, right? So maybe person can help maybe research a number of topics that would fit what we are trying to work on. So someone like my right hand man in that sense. So that's the job of the programs officer. Please, this picture is just there for I just wanted to use a nice picture. It doesn't have to be a girl, it doesn't have to be a boy. Just take note of that. I wrote the note there. So the second one is partnerships officer, right? So we have been speaking about real world practical value of the AI policy that we are working on, or this policy review. So this person will help us identify, engage potential partner organizations, maybe send out emails to these people. If these people want to have a meeting with us, set up the meeting with them, prepare maybe like okay things like concept notes, sharing concept notes with people, and see which kind of organizations would be interested in partnering with us. So if people are also giving recommendations, oh, my uncle works with the World Bank, my auntie works with World Trade Organization, this is their email, send them an email. So this partnership officer will be the one that helps us do all of that. So also the roles are not gender specific. Could be a lady, could be a guy. Then we have content strategist. So this person will be like our media lead, not media lead of some sort. So this person will be working alongside. So let me just show you guys all the three roles in this media. So you have graphics designer or AI design specialist. Because I've been seeing some ChatGPT designs these days. I mean, that they are not that bad. So I thought I have some design background, so I have appetite for good design. So I kind of rate designs too sharp. So maybe somebody that knows how to write good prompts to create designs that can ensure a consistent output across board, or somebody that knows how to use some graphics design tools, maybe Canva, nothing too serious, trust me. Then a video editor. So like we might be having to put out some video content in the course of this. Maybe I'll record a video. Maybe anybody that is open to volunteering to record a video for us. So imagine maybe we want to explain how foreign actors are having an influence on AI policies, right? Somebody that could just make a video about that, and then we can get like our video editor can help us edit it. Then at the end, guys, all of you have to show your face at some point because we need to share in the glory, right? So at the end, everybody would still have to make some sort of video that you can post on your page of some sort, right? To just show that, oh, you've done this AI policy review and you can share your thoughts about AI policies. Yes, so the content strategist, I was on the content strategist before I jumped. So the content strategist would just be there to help. So we will not be creating like a independent social media account for this. If we think we want to, if we think we should, then please make your suggestions. Like I said, we are working on this thing together. Make suggestions for us. But this content strategist will just help that, okay, team members, please you can post this on your week today and to have like African AI policy review. We'll state contributions. Maybe we'll tag everybody in the post or something like that. Um, Sharing insights. So as we are doing our research weekly, right? Somebody that can say, okay, what can we post as a carousel? What can we post as a single card picture? What can we make a video from or these things that we are finding out in these policies that we're working on? Because a good part of the reason why AI is not well regulated is that people don't even know about it. As you start reading about AI policies, you find that many government people, policymakers, the best they know about AI is ChatGPT, and they don't even know cloud. Like it's just something that I used to write for them that you know about it. So raising this awareness is also very important. And like I said earlier, work that is not seen cannot be rewarded. So this person will be tasked with making sure that there's visibility for this AI policy review that we are working on. So graphics designer will be formatting our reports. As you start reading national AI strategies, you'd see how those documents are designed. So maybe somebody that can help with that, someone that can help us design some graphics once in a while, um, graphics that will be posted on our social media pages. There's no social media page for this yet. So it's just something that can be shared on the group chat that everybody can post on their status. And or maybe we can do like a meet the team design where everybody's faces is there and can just show. But I'm skeptical about that meet the team design. I'm hopeful nobody leaves, but it won't be nice to do a meet the team design. Then at the end, somebody is not with us on the team again because person had to step back or something. So that's for us to decide later. So like I said, if you're not a graphic designer, but you feel like you know how to use AI very well to do clean designs, and like from the end, beginning of policy review to the end, we'll be getting consistent looking designs. Not that today to look like, but you just get what I mean, Sha. So these are how many rows? One, two, three, four, five. So the content strategies will be there for like the graphic designer doesn't have to be thinking about what we post. Graphic designer is just there to design it. So the content strategist person that will come up with the content that we posted and stuff like that. And please, you don't need to have figured everything out to be able to volunteer for any of these roles. So please, in the chats on Teams here or on WhatsApp, you can just drop which role you'd like to volunteer for. I think I'd like us to get that out of the way tonight. Yes, tonight before tomorrow. So tomorrow we would work on structured thinking and the outreach stuff. So please let's use the chat on Teams here. If you can just drop which role you like to volunteer for. Okay, Jordan, I saw your message. All right. Please you can go through the recording to see any stuff that we've done before. So please, anybody would like to volunteer for any of these roles, please you can put in the comment section. We're waiting on you. Maybe I should write out the roles again before we go ahead. So some job of the content strategists too will be maybe helping people go through what they can post on their LinkedIn that week. Yeah. So please, you don't need to be you don't need to be fully goodness said that's known for all right. You don't need to be fully baked. Um just somebody that is interested in helping out. That's all. That's all. Um these guys, don't be scared. Don't be scared. We're not coming for your life. And you can feel free to opt out if you start and it's too much for you. You can always opt out. In fact, like you can opt out of anything, trust me. Even if this policy review, if you start now and you see that it's beyond your power, please take a break. I've quit from like 2 things this year already. So quitting is always an option. So I just want to encourage us to please help as we bring this AI policy review to life. Yes, the policy review is just, I like to describe it as a being, like an entity on its own. Right. So we just want to make this the best that it can be. I'm looking forward to hearing from us. Maybe a short summary of the roles. Let me see. Maybe I can. I'm currently sharing the screen, but I don't have the slide on my phone, and my laptop is not connected to WhatsApp. But a short summary of the roles again. Programs officer will be just generally helping to coordinate the activities on the team, right? Tracking participations, maintaining records, monitoring our outputs, and Team learning was monitoring our outputs, organization documentation, and all. Then partnership officer will help us reaching out to potential partner organizations. Graphic designer help us maybe design some things once in a while, maybe once in a week, twice a week, stuff like that. Maybe carousels. Then a video editor, so someone to help us edit videos if at any point we need to make a video. So those are the roles. Those are the roles that we have at the moment. So gifts is all right. Thank you very much. So gifts to help us with video editing. Guys, please, before the end of the call, we ended this call before 11 by the special grace of God. So I will end my presentation by 10:50. I will take questions and call it a day. Take questions and call it a day. Okay, Jordan is going to be our programs officer. Guys, please, I need your help. I need your help in making this a success. But please also remember, this is just by the side. This is not the policy review. Like the policy review work is there. This is just something by the side to just like help everybody. So we have video editor, we have program officer. So please, we need content strategists. And I want you to know that I'll be supporting you along every line of the way. This policy review is really on my head. So if you are working on stuff, you need assistance, I would always be there to help. Always be there to help. So if you need me to go over the roles again, please let me know. I've typed it out in the chats. Can take a look at it. So let me quickly start out on structured thinking before we call it a day. So you might be asking why we are discussing structured thinking in the sense of this, right? But the thing is this. Please, I'm still hoping that a number of us will volunteer to join the volunteer team. I'm looking forward to our assistance on this, right? So as I was saying, the structured thinking, right? A bulk of this work is going to be done independently. Like I will not be inside your heads. I will not be beside you. I will not be guiding your hand when you are prompting AI, when you are watching your YouTube video, when you are searching on Google Scholar. I won't be there, right? So essentially, what we want to do or what we want to achieve with this these couple of sessions you would see. Okay, guys, I think this is what will happen because my phone is not here. I'll just go to the rows again. I'll take a picture with my phone and I'll send it to the group chat so you can see what the requirements for the rows are. And okay, I can even screenshot it here on my phone. Just give me a minute, please. Guys, we'll be learning a lot. I'm so excited about the work we're about to do. So excited. This for program officer, for partnership officer, for content strategist. This is for graphic designer. So please, your graphic designer doesn't have to be a boy. It can be anybody. So I'll just send the screenshots to the group chats now, so you can go through it again if you have to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I just sent it to the group chat so you can check through the slides later. So I wanted to make some edits to the slides, so I might not be sending it this night, but we'll get it eventually. Okay, so those are the rules. I believe you are able to take a look at it. I think last thing that is not here. Okay, video editor is here. All right, I think all of them are here. So I'll go ahead with structured thinking. Let me quickly finish up that. So please, you'll be getting a link to a feedback form a few minutes after this, and please do well to fill the form. I'll tag everybody to it so it's easy for you to find. So structured thinking. Like I was saying, right, I won't be there when everybody's working on this. But what we want to achieve with this is that you're able to structure your thoughts, and anybody that is engaging with your work after this policy review or as you're working in your team, right, is able to have, like, is able to digest it easily. So let's look at what we have on the screen at the moment. What we have on the screen at the moment. So there's something to the left. Please, can you still see my screen?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. So there's a text to the left and there's a text to the right. The first one says, oh, so I was looking at AI governance in Nigeria, and there are many issues like capacity and also regulation. And I read this report from AUDA NEPAD, which was interesting. And there are gaps, and policymakers don't understand the technology, and also blah, 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 blah. When you now come to structured one, Nigeria faces three critical AI governance gaps. Policymakers lack technical capacity, no national AI regulatory framework, limited African context research. We recommend a targeted 6-month policy fellowship that will address all three. You see that it's now easier to read. And this thing is a practice. You learn it. And if we are going to be doing real work and will not just be producing AI generated stuff here, right? We need to learn how to structure our thoughts. So that's what the goal of the next few slides we're going to be covering is about. I sense that I should just cover the pyramid principle, then we'll come back to bottom-up approach and the rest tomorrow. So on the top of what the pyramid principle is a principle by Barbara Minto, and she was a consultant at McKinsey. So essentially, it gives you a guide to structure your thoughts. You start from the top, you start from the main point, then you come down to supporting arguments, key supporting arguments. Then for each key supporting argument, you give supporting evidence like data, like examples, like research. That's what the pyramid principle is about, right? So, like we just saw, okay, we even have an example on that slide. Let me go back. AI policy workshop recommendation. So you start from the top. Nigeria should host a 2-day national AI policy workshop in Q3. Why? Because no national AI strategy exists. Policymakers have knowledge gaps. And lastly, regional peers like Rwanda and Kenya are already ahead. Then you now go to evidence. Oh my, I think Team Learning's network is very terrible. We have ITU 2024's data, we have 12 policymaker interviews, and GSMA benchmarking reports, right? So you can also go into more detail about, okay, this is the evidence. You spoke to 12 Nigerian policymakers, and one of them said this, the second person said this. So it's a very simple thing. You just have to be cognizant of it when you are working on whatever stuff you are working on, whatever project you are working on, right? You start from the core answer. And then this is not set in stone too. I'm not saying everything you have to write, you have to use the pyramid principle. But when you are working on something and you see that if you structure your thoughts this way, it's going to be easier to work with, then it is advised that you use it. Right? It is advised that you use it. So this is where I'm going to be stopping my presentation today. And like we still have a lot we still have a lot to cover. We still have a lot to cover. Guys, we're in for real work. If it's getting scary already, you can. We want you on the team. Don't run away, please. But like guys, we are in for a real work here. So that's the end of my presentation. So we've covered the program vision, programs, technical requirements of this program, and we started talking about structured thinking and the volunteer roles. So please, I'm still very hopeful that somebody will volunteer as content strategist, as what's it called, graphics designer, and what's the last one, partnerships officer. Trust me, you'd have a good ride with us. I'm not making any promises, but if it's about the work, you're going to do new things you've not done before, and you're going to learn. So I'm hopeful that you get feedback from us. And please remember to, it's not compulsory, it's completely volunteer. You don't have to do it. It's just by the side, right? If you've opted in and you feel like you want to opt out, please feel free. If you start and you feel like you can't continue again, please feel free to step back. Like, it's not compulsory at all. At all, at all, at all. Right? But then please, to make this AI policy review have the quality that we want it, I can't be the only one bearing the burden, right? It won't be easy. That's why I need support. So yes, so guys, that's the end of my presentation. If you have any questions, any feedback, any opinion, please don't forget there will be a feedback form in the group chat around 11 p.m. I can just help fill, and I can get our feedback ahead of tomorrow's session. Let me go back to the slide that has my face on it. I like to see my face. Yes, please. I think somebody has something to say. Feel free to unmute your mic and speak. Yes, my vice president. Guys, goodness is the vice president of SUG Abuja, Uni Abuja rather. We have big people in our midst, guys. Yes, goodness, please
Good
unmute your mic.
evening. Yeah, thank you.
Good
Good evening, convener. Well, thank you for the robust orientation so far. It's everything clear. So the question I have is that you mentioned that of course would have weekly meetings, and I suppose that the weekly meetings, before those meetings, we would have to conduct a research on a particular topic. So, and we'll be
Yeah.
presenting them in a weekly meeting. So, the research group, maybe we could have 2, 3 persons, or probably one person. So, my question is, for every weekly meeting, are all the groups or all the assigned topics going to be presented for each meeting? Because I think each meeting should last like 2 hours. Or is it that this week we are having this group talk and we interact with that particular assigned topic, and next week we are having another group? Or all groups, maybe we have 3 groups now, all 3 groups have their topics, and then that week for the 2 hour meeting that we are having, all 3 groups have to present, and then we have to interact with all 3 groups. Is that
Okay.
how it's going to be?
Okay. So if I heard you clearly, you asked that as we have subgroups that be presenting at weekly meetings, that is it that one group represents one week, another group represents another week, or all the groups represent every week, right? Correct. Yeah, so
Yes,
all the groups
yes.
every there'll be a cap on the time for presentation, maybe like around 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It's still very dynamic. We'll see what works best. But for now, the FSH time is like 10 minutes to present the slides. And then everybody can now ask questions on what they've presented. The goal is to learn. The goal is to learn and provide ideas, provide solutions. And like we said, it's not something we are doing absent-mindedly. If we are students now, we come to class and we make presentations. We just present our own and go and sit down. But like we are going to be engaging with everybody's presentation as if it's our work. Oh, what did you guys find here? Oh, where can I see more of this? Oh, did you guys check out this? Is there more of this that we can find? Right. So everybody's going to be presenting every week.
Okay, thank you.
Someone else has a question. You have a question, unmute your mic. Don't worry, we don't bite. Please unmute your mic and ask. Who has a question? Goodness, please ask, please ask, please ask. Go ahead.
Okay, so mine, it's not really a question, it's more of I say a suggestion or a comment. So I know we actually voted for to have we had a poll where half to decide the time for the orientation. And initially I knew that the orientation was supposed to be today. But when I noticed that there were no reminders, this kind of thing, I was expecting reminders via email or WhatsApp saying orientation is on Friday or 2 days, 1 hour, like reminders at intervals for the orientation. We're not getting any. So I just wanted to say, I know for now you're the only one, and definitely we'll have more people carrying out or handling some tasks that the reminders for every meeting should come earlier, like not when it's 1 hour to the meeting or it's time for the meeting and then they are seeing the link to join. So I'd appreciate if reminders can drop maybe a week to the meeting, 3 days to the meeting, 2 hours to the meeting. If we can incorporate that moving forward, that would be really helpful. Thank you.
Right. All right. Yes, yes, yes. That's a very, very good suggestion. And we'll be incorporating that. Like it's really on my own hand. I'd say that I'd even add us to a Google Drive. I'd add us to a Google Drive and those things. So later would be scheduling these meetings with Google Calendar. And I think there's a way you can add notifications for Google Calendar. So we'd calibrate it in such a way. Tonight, I'll put up, no, not tonight. I think we should do that tomorrow after the second orientation meeting. And then I just want to put this out there. I know some of us, Ezekiel, Jason, please, I can see you. Please just a moment. Right. So I know a number of us voted for just one orientation session, but now we have to do two. I'm really pleading with us. I know we spoke about just having one meeting per week, but please, just for this week, right? It seems we're going to have to. Please bear with us. I hope you're able to clear your schedules and attend, right? So, like I was saying, that responsibility to remind us on me, and sincerely, notifications and reminders should have come out earlier. And guys, I just want to encourage us to please be like goodness. Please make recommendations. Please make suggestions. Like we're working on this thing together. So if you feel like we can do something better, we should do something differently. We are not doing something right. Please do well to state it. Right. So going forward, we'll try to like add everybody's Gmail to the meeting. So we'd add the Google Meet link to the meeting. Right. So we now set it so that it sends out notifications. I do it like maybe 3 days before, 1 day before, 30 minutes before. So it should send out notifications to people. So yeah, we'll work on that. Let me take note of it. We'll work on that. Jason, please, you can speak.
There is no need again. That was the same thing I wanted to make reference to, but you already replied. So yeah.
But say something. Yeah, open your mic. You must say something different.
No, that was this. What I wanted to say was if there was a way we can add it to a calendar, the format, in a calendar format, where we can just be receiving it and just join ourselves to it, and then on that the meeting comes up. And so that was this, and you gave a reply to it, a response to it already. So that was part
All
of
right.
it. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. So we still have 4 minutes left, guys. I want us to speak, even if you don't have questions, like feedback. Do you like my slides? I know I design good slides. I know you must have been eating the slides, like slides are so neat. I'm just kidding, but like just feedback. If you have any clarifications to make, you having second thoughts on something before before we call it a day. Before we call it a day, please. Let's speak.
Ah, hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, it's just like a review and a commendation. I mean, I was looking at the slide, I was like, this is just for just how many people that you are designing slides for, but then I was, I mean, I must say that I mean, a good slide, by the way. A good slide, and we are eating the slides. I mean, me, I'm eating the slides, I'm eating the slides. I mean, it's very good slide. Yeah, thank
Thank you
you
very
very much. And thank you for I mean, for this orientation. Wow. I mean, you have been really, really, really working. I mean, the background that we don't even know. So, I mean, I must comment. Well done, Mr. Ezekiel.
Thank you, Gift. Thank you, Gift. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. I put effort into the slides, man. It took me hours. Oh, as you are seeing it, that it's just in paka 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 like this. Took hours, man. It took a while. So, Jordan, I saw your hand up. Please, you can speak. You can speak, please.
Good evening.
Good evening.
The slides were, I'm also commending the slides, they were very good. But I think it will actually be a good thing to send the slides ahead of time, maybe on WhatsApp. So in case you're
Oh,
maybe moving too fast for some people, we can still go back if we like a particular page and look at it and get the information we wanted. And for those who prefer looking at the slides earlier before the explanation comes in, it's also be helpful to those people.
okay. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. I think would be able to do that. I'll see how I can do that tomorrow, ahead of tomorrow's meeting. The issue was that sincerely, with today's slides, it was not yet ready before the meeting. Like I'd been working on it since morning, now still not done. And I'll not say that was not entirely my fault, but yeah. But like going forward, because we are supposed to submit the slides before the meeting, so people can have the Google Slides link and even check out people's presentations ahead of time. So guys, I'm not forcing us, I'm not telling us to break our back. But like these slides are kind of like what I want our slides to be looking like, right? And then I just wanted to say something. This is already 10:59. So please, once it's 11, if you have to go, please feel free to opt out of the call. Um I saw goodness hand up now, but Daniel, please you can speak. Thank you, Jordan, for the comment.
Yeah, I I wanted to ask because I remember you told me that you were giving us templates for our slide presentation, but then you said you want our slides to be looking, like yours, and I was like, okay, like
Um
yours, like really good, and it's so detailed. Like you can tell that they put a lot of effort on this, but no problem. Definitely, I believe we can still come up with something like this.
so this is Daniel, please you speak. I'm so sorry. This is what will happen, right? I would share the PowerPoint file of these slides with us, but we're going to be working on Google Slides. So sometimes Google Slides does not give you some sort of flexibility with editing the document. So as we are working, you can feel free to take it down from Google Slides, edit it in PowerPoint, and upload it back. But essentially, what we would have is that this African Air Policy Review logo will always be there. We'd have this straight line that runs through across the head. Then we'd have headings for each slide, right? Maybe something that explains what's on each slide. So Google Slides obviously too does not have some of these fonts. This is Inter fonts, display fair display. So some of these fonts might not be there. Please reminder, it's already 11, please. So please you can leave the call. We're not seeing anything what's it called? Anything critical again. We're done with the presentation. So please you can leave if you have to go. Like I was saying, so I would share this PowerPoint file with us so we can work with it. Then I'll try to see if I can come up with like an actual template but you'd have the template for this slide, and I would have some guidelines that are easy to work with. And I doubt that I would have to work with like something that looks exactly like this again going forward, because this orientation slide is just very different. The kind of slides you'd have to make to present what you are finding in your research shouldn't be that hectic like that. But we'll find a way around it to make it easier for people. Part of what we'll look at tomorrow is slide design. We'd have like a section on slide design to help people know how to design slides better. And please, you can utilize AI tools to design your slides. But it's just that they don't always come out properly like that. So you have to touch it up a little bit. So we'll take us through a number of things that will help us design slides better tomorrow. Yeah. Daniel, please, you can speak. I'm so sorry. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. I wanted to say again that the slides are very nice, and I can see that a lot of effort went into them. And I wanted to ask the question of how often we're going to need to post content, and or what kind of social media are we going to need to post this content, because me, I don't usually post on social media. So yeah.
Okay. So primarily, it's going to be LinkedIn. It's going to be LinkedIn. But we'll be creating things that you can post on LinkedIn, post on Twitter, post on Instagram. Anyway you want to post it, but primarily it's going to be LinkedIn. And maybe on your WhatsApp status, if you want to show your people that you have eaten with the gods, and you are now, you are eating policy, you are chewing policy for breakfast, those kind of things, you can post on your WhatsApp status. But yeah, LinkedIn primarily. LinkedIn primarily. That's social media platform we'll be using. And how often is going to be basically once, like the one that everybody will be doing will basically be once. So maybe the one our content strategist to help us with, maybe we can have like 2 outputs a week for that. Maybe a carousel, a single post, a quote, something like that, a statistics, just something to post here. So yeah, it's not going to be so much. It's not going to be that intense. Is there any other question? Then I want to encourage us, please, you don't have to raise your hand to speak. You can just unmute your mic and talk. There are not plenty here like that. Any other question? Any other question as we start attempting to call it a day?
Yes, I have another question.
Please go ahead.
So I would like to I wanted to suggest if you could send the remaining roles that people have not volunteered for along with what the job description is, so people can still make their choices.
Okay, I sent the screenshot of the slide that contains the content for the roles. I sent it to the group chat just some minutes ago. I think for now, what we have on ground is graphic designer, content strategist, and partnerships officer. So program officer is gone, video editor is gone. But I'll type that out, Chapo. That's basically the roles we have on ground. Do you copy? All right.
Yes,
Any other
I
question?
do. Thank you.
And please, if you have any other question after now, you can just put it on the group chat. Let's end the call. Have a good night, guys. Thank you very, very much for making it for this meeting. Have a good night rest. See you tomorrow by 4 p.m. And by God's grace, you'll get email reminder this time or notification reminder. Good night, guys.
Sorry, convener. Tomorrow's meeting is